The Gulf Injustice Podcast, the official podcast of Detained in Dubai with Radha Stirling.
And welcome to the Gulf Injustice Podcast. And today we're delving into a very concerning story that involves Saudi Arabia. And I would just like to welcome you and let you sort of kick off with your story. What happened exactly, and how has that impacted you from the beginning, please?
I started when I was very young in a travel agency back in India in 1980s. Immediately after graduating, what I did, I joined the travel agency, and I was hired by the travel agency in Saudi Arabia. Then I started working as a sales executive. And everything was fine. I mean, I was enjoying. I was young and energetic. I was working day and night with the company, and I had no issues at all. See what happened. The life was going very smoothly. Suddenly, the Ritz-Carlton has happened. All the VIPs, royal family members, all the business tycoons, they are detained in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. One of the detainees was our owner, Dr. Nasser al-Tayyar. He was detained, and they force him, as per the terms and conditions, he has to give up the company. And the company was one of the largest travel agency till today, Al-Tayyar Travels. They rebranded the name to read as Sira Group. The management has been changed.
That's after the Ritz-Carlton takeover of the Crown Prince. He seized the company by, If you remember in 2017, the Ritz-Carlton hotel, the anti-corruption initiative.
Right. Yes. That resulted in them seizing.
So my father was with the owner since the beginning of the company, since 1980.
Right.
Since 1981. He was with them almost from the start, the whole time for 40 years, and then this happened.
Wow.
See what happened when this happened. They rebrand the name as the Sira Group. The new management, they are different people. Now in March 2020, they terminated my services with many other people, many other foreigners during the peak of the pandemic. See what? I have no issues if they don't want my services. It's fine after serving 40 years. The problem here starts here now. When they terminated me, I was supposed to get my money and I was supposed to leave respectfully from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But what has happened? After the termination, they confiscated my passport, which is against their own labor law and their own human rights. And they requested me to get the payments from the corporate accounts, which is not my job. And I did it for 1 month, 2 months. After 2 months, again, I had a heated debate with them, saying this is not my job. They said, no, you need to do this, otherwise you will not be allowed to leave the country. And they referred my case to their legal department. And their legal department, they called me, they said, we need to see you. I said, I went there, I said, these payments are there. I said, this is not my job. But no, as per the finance department, it's your duty to collect the payments. And then I refused. I said, if you don't do this, there is this amount is there, which is nearly $100,000. These are the payments. If you don't, you need to make the payment from your part, then only you can leave the country. I have no other option. I have no other option except to call my another son in India and requested him to sell the property and transfer the money. And he transferred the money. He sold the property at 40% less than the market value because, you need the money. It's the pandemic time.
Yes.
I lost everything, And after making the transfers and everything, I was keep working. During the peak of the pandemic, I was working that time. And trust me, it is very important. Twice, the police, they catch me because, they were working only 2 hours. During that time, a few minutes are left, they catch me. They said,
This is the window for going outside
When you go outside,
in the pandemic.
you need to follow the strict timings are there. Only a couple of hours are allowed. You cannot go and make the visit the clients and rush back to your apartment. Twice they catch me, and twice I had to explain to them because I was little 1 or 2 minutes extras there. I had to explain my situation. The penalty was $2,666, highest penalty in the whole the planet. And twice they let me go because of my situation. I had to speak because I speak Arabic. I explained to them that the chief of the staff there, and he let me go. I mean, I worked, a man who served you 40 years. This is the way you treat the people. After that, payment has been done. I work almost 5-6 months from 31st March till 8th of September. No payment. I was working for free, working for them, getting the collections. No payment. And at the end, when I make the payments,
Yeah, this is
they let me leave, and they did not provide me a ticket, which is part of the contract. I had to buy my own ticket. Then I landed in India on 8th of September 2020. Immediately after I landed, I went with my son, my another younger son, to visit to New Delhi to meet Indian Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Damodar Modi. During the peak of the pandemic, he never used to come to the office. Then I visited his residence, and we waited 1 day, 2 day, third day. One of the staff member, he came out and he asked me, "You don't need to wait. I know you are coming to meet us. Our Prime Minister is very busy. He cannot meet you, but he got the information, and he is very sorry to know about whatever is happened to you. But he will make sure that you will get justice." Immediately he forwarded my case to Indian Embassy in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Indian Embassy forwarded to Sasira Group. No response. And they followed with them reminders, zero reply, no response. And after that, they said, since we did our part and we cannot do more than that, I just keep quiet. Then what happened? My son will explain to you after that, please.
Yeah, if you can just give me your impression of exactly what happened and continue as well.
So when I figured out he was trapped there, basically they stole his passport, I realized this is a serious situation. And he had many sleepless nights. I was really worried. People die like this over there.
Yeah.
They didn't give him a single dime. He's working for 6 months, and he's old. He has to go in the pandemic hours.
Yeah.
Just to go, so he could catch the pandemic and die. So on top, and he was really in a really bad situation. I was really worried the whole time. But my brother, he managed to sell our house for way less and pay the 100,000. And luckily he managed to get out because the pandemic protocols. He somehow paid the money and they let him go. Yeah. So he also sent the email to the vice president of the Sierra Group about our mother. She was needing a major surgery, which was delayed the whole time because of this whole situation. Yeah. He asked them for some money for the surgery, and they declined. They didn't want to give him like a few $1,000s for that surgery. So my mother still has lifelong conditions because of the delay in that surgery, which was critical for her. So this is when he went to India. He went to the Prime Minister's office. After that, when we got no response, I told him to come here because we thought we'll work with the human rights and get any help we can here because this is an important country for them. So we thought working here might get us some leeway into getting justice. So we started coming here, and okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask, and what is your plan in the US to get justice? I mean, I know there's been a lot of cases involving Saudi, and it's been very, very difficult. But I think they're more open now to exploring these issues against people with the current administration and kind of strengthened ties with Saudi. it's a good time for them to push other interests as well, such as yours.
Yeah, you mean the Trump administration, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm. And I
yeah,
have had some progress on in other countries, in the UAE and Qatar, when it comes to human rights issues, because they are, especially for Americans. So any, strengthening ties usually can be worked alongside with human rights issues because they don't want human rights issues being brought to the table
yeah,
because it imposes upon their agendas to.
exactly. That's the issue here, you know.
Mm,
So he got here in February 2022, and he went to the embassy in Washington
mm.
right away, a few days later, and you know, he wanted to meet the ambassador, Mr. Rima, but she wasn't available. But he gave her the office all the documents, the manager, I guess,
Yeah.
all the documents of his case, what happened to him, the injustice.
Mm.
But we never heard back. So ever since then, we've been working with like human rights and our congresswoman and some media. If if you've seen the publications, we
Yeah.
worked with a bunch of people, and all those publications, about 16 now, we sent them all to the ambassador via speed mail, but I've never heard back. So we're doing whatever we can in our power
Okay,
to. I
interesting.
just want this case to be brought to light,
Yes, definitely. And
and
I mean, how many
because
people has
human
this
rights are
happened
not on
to?
the
Yeah, would
yeah,
you say this is a widespread issue? Was it in Saudi, were there many people suffering as you did?
yeah, especially during the pandemic, this was a widespread. But since he spent 40 years there, and it's
Yeah,
his company is owned by the Public Investment Fund. So in 20 when after the Ritz Carlton,
yeah,
it was basically owned by the public. So it's owned by the head of the Public Investment Fund,
right.
and that's where we're trying to bring to light what happened to him, the injustice under this company where he worked 40 years, basically a company owned by the Public Investment Fund.
I think yes, when you've lived and worked in a country for 40 years, you're
And he's
essentially,
an
I
extreme
mean,
workaholic. He worked every single day of the year, 365 days.
yeah,
There's two Eids. He even worked the 8 days. He used to go to the office. So he's
and
not taking any day. He's working round the clock
yeah,
and serving many high end people. He used to work in the diplomatic quarters, and a lot of important people he used to serve. And this is how he was treated after 40 years. And he worked round the clock. Even if the phone rings 3 in the morning, he's answering. He was an extreme workaholic. And
yeah.
this is after 40 years in Saudi Arabia as an Indian, Kafala worker under this PIF company, and this is what they did to him.
Mm.
So I was extremely worried. He could have had caught the COVID. They didn't give him any money. So I'm trying to get justice for my father.
I mean,
We've had all these
how much would you
publications.
consider that you've lost as a result of this? I mean, you've essentially been looted out of, I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
money.
I mean the
I lost everything.
Mm. Your life's work.
I lost my money financially. I am zero.
Mm.
Physically, mentally, because of this, we are fighting for justice for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that this needs to be highlighted. This need to be, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has to be aware of this case. I'm sure with your podcast, the highest authorities, the Crown Prince office and in Crown Prince himself will take a note because of all these publications, it's damaging Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's name, not only in the Middle East, it's in the whole world. Globally, their name is damaging. And the ambassador, Saudi ambassador in Washington, D.C., I don't know what is the reason she's not passing the message. Something has happened because till today, 17 publications, all 17 publications has been sent it by speed mail. We have a confirmation. She received zero response. It doesn't, see, in my case, they violated their own labor law, their own human rights.
Mm.
And every single day, I think before I go to bed, I always think that, suppose if I don't have the property, if I don't make the payment, you know what happened? as per my legal department, if you don't make the payment, you will be behind the bars.
Yeah.
I will be behind the bar. Maybe by now I would have been died already.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean,
yes, okay. So the goal of the Saudi government or MBS here is essentially to repossess companies
exactly.
to
This is going to happen.
take the profits and take the money.
It's the
Mm,
opposite side.
yeah.
In my case, it's completely opposite. He has to take a note of this.
And this is all under the guise of the anti-corruption unit.
Exactly, in the name of anti-corruption.
Yes.
And you are saying anti-corruption, and what you are doing
So
this is
they're
completely
corruptly exploiting the anti-corruption unit in order to
exactly.
justify the seizure of property and assets and money
Exactly.
from foreign nationals. So I mean that means if you look at what the US is doing and you look at the West and them trying to expand our partnerships, this is of great concern to me. If we start expanding our technology partnerships, if we start outsourcing AI projects and infrastructure projects to the Middle East, we're going to have more and more American citizens being deployed into these countries, being employed or, relocated to these countries. Essentially, everything that they work for, everything that they raise capital investment from American companies, from American citizens to invest into these projects abroad, is potentially subject to seizure from people like MBS, from the ruling elite, and from the government itself with no recourse. And the issue is when you try to recover that, is impossible. It's impossible through the Saudi courts. They're owned by the rulers. There's no separation of state. And in the United States, you've got jurisdictional issues and you've got diplomatic immunity issues. So I see a real risk in doing business with these countries that they can steal at any time whatever money and time that we put into that country. And in many cases, what I see is the entrepreneurs who go there, the company directors, end up in prison because they want them to be jailed so that they can steal the companies and there's nothing they can do about it.
But my case, just to if you go through this, the whole case is whereby they violated all this, their own labor laws, their own human rights. And on the top of that, they are not responding. This is one of the bad part of that. They're supposed to respond and just are supposed to get justice.
Yeah.
My wife, she's at bed rest, she cannot walk. I have so many health issues because of this.
Yeah.
I'm just requesting them to contact me and give me a justice. I mean, highlighting this case, knowing the people globally is damaging their name.
And do you think that the acts against you, like for example, this, are going to discourage people from India and from America of growing and developing their companies there? Or do you think that Saudi believes that they can continue to do this and it will have no effect because people will still hope that everything's going to work out for them?
My advice to them, you can go there, you can work there, but make sure you are protected, but not to trap in my like situation. But you have no control because of the Kafala system.
Yeah.
You have no control on that. And you are whatever you say that nobody can hear to you. I mean, you are at receiving end.
Yeah. So essentially, your visa is controlled, your company is controlled. You have to hand over more than 50% of your company, essentially the administration, to a local Saudi citizen.
Yeah, under the Kafala system.
Yes.
See, my request to them is, to the authorities, to the MBS office, and to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman himself, please look into my case. I like to see the justice from his end because he is the person who is changing the Saudi Arabia into a completely new, with his new vision 2030. He is changing the whole country, but not getting justice for me his vision is damaging his name, his country's name, and his vision globally. My humble request to you, please spread this as much as possible so that people has to know the reality and they have to take a note, and I'm supposed to get a justice as early as possible.
Today, I think the Kafala system is problematic, but when it was removed in the UAE, that didn't actually afford people too much extra protection, because there were different ways that if an entity wanted to apprehend someone's company or money, they would do it via different means. Of course, it's much better not to have the Kafala system, but it didn't afford them complete protection. So it's definitely, I wouldn't say that it's safe just in the absence of that system. So when you went back and you raised this diplomatically in India, what was the response?
I salute to our honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Damodar Modi, great leader, tallest leader of our time. He actioned my case immediately. I mean, this is supposed to be a good example for the rest of the world leaders, that if whatever the case is, whether it is a small or big, he is always available to know, to take care of his own citizens professionally. In my case, I never expect that this action. He did his part immediately.
So what did he do when he responded?
Immediately he forwarded my case to the Indian embassy in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and embassy forwarded my case to the company, Cell Group, and no response.
No response.
Exactly. See, the millions of Indians are working in Gulf. Whatever is possible, our government is doing. They're doing their best. And I'm so happy the way they help me out. But again, the problem here from Saudi authorities, and especially the Saudi embassy in Washington, D.C., they are receiving all these publications and they are not responding.
Yes.
It's by several Congress people, major international human rights, and some media. So it's major people, but there's it's pretty amazing. You haven't received any response. I'm trying to raise this case as much as possible, but the injustice happened to him after 40 years.
Which Congress reps are you working with?
Our local one, Jan Chakowski, and they wrote a letter to the Secretary of State, Mr. Anthony Blinken. This was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Asking him, they included my father's case in the letter, asking for justice for him. But even for that, there was her and several other Congress people, including Mr. Jamie Raskin. Can't remember the others on the top of my head, but like 6 or 7. They wrote a letter to the Secretary of State, asking to abolish the Kafala system and justice for my father. But no response even to that. After the Secretary of State even received it,
On the top of that, 6 human rights organizations from the US and from Europe, under Al-Khid Foundation based in London, they also sent an open letter to the Saudi authorities requesting them for justice for me.
That's a major human rights Al-Qist, if you know, based in London. Very important human rights organization. Even they advocated on his behalf, but still no response after that even.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that does need to be addressed by the West, because I think what we're seeing is, Saudi has got away with a lot. The whole Middle East has got away with a lot of incidences that have added up to a feeling of immunity. And if they can get away with these larger issues, of course.
Because, you only live one life. and I want justice for my father. I get it. There's a lot of immunity going on. I mean, as you know, a lot of cases, but I want justice for my father. We live one life, and this is a human right, I believe, in justice for everyone. And I can, it's been over 5 years, but we're going to keep on going
I
until it
think,
gets
I mean,
done.
the biggest issue
Is
here
it basic?
is really that if we are going to be continuing to do business with and develop
Yeah, exactly.
that end of the relationship with Saudi, security, that is something altogether different. But if we're going to be doing trade and if we're going to be
Yeah,
encouraging
business.
us to do business in those countries, that has to come with some agreements in place. That has to come with certain expectations of behavior, mutual behavior between the countries, that our people are going to be treated in a particular way, that their businesses are going to
Yeah,
be protected. And I think that is really important to deal with your case as an
yeah,
example of what we expect from this growing relationship, because how can we promote it if we can't deal with clear cases of injustice, clear where it affects, as you say, human rights, it affects health, it has drastic and permanent effects on not only you but of course members of your family, and economic. So I think that's really the main thing here, is that those conversations need to be had between the countries, and being
yeah.
ignored,
This has clouded our life.
for
Oh,
India
sorry.
to be
Sorry to
ignored,
interrupt.
for Congress people to be ignored on raising cases like this, it's just unacceptable. We can't have
Understand.
that sort of behavior and at the same time say, let's build a hotel here, let's, grow our
Yeah,
technology and AI infrastructure with Saudi. It's unacceptable.
exactly. Unacceptable.
But the problem here is what is there. It's not the way. I mean, they're normally. I never expect this much delay in my case. Normally, the way Saudis they work, they make things, they action immediately and they close the issues. But I don't know. After having so many publications
Mhm.
and everything has been sent it to the ambassador, and still zero response, no reply. I'm shocked every single night before I go to bed.
Mm.
I always think that, I mean, how come these people, they are supposed to be very fast in making things, because they are damaging this their name is, because now I'm coming in front of you. It's damaging their name globally.
Yeah, it is. And
Globally,
I
when the
feel that
global audience
Saudis,
will watch this our podcast, it's damaging their name not only in the Middle East, in the whole world.
I feel that
And
at this time they think that's tomorrow's problem, that we will improve, that we will grow, that we will change in the future, but we don't have to right now, because we're doing, we're assisting with the Iran situation, that we've signed the Abraham Accords, that we are supporting the US in so many other areas, that we don't even need to look at this yet. And we're not even ready to receive all of this investment that we plan on receiving. So I think, at a time when they start demanding a lot more money come into the country, a lot more deals and growth, economic growth in different areas, I don't think there's much of an incentive to deal with these smaller, as they will see it, a smaller situation. Yes, there are some publications. Yes, there's some Congress people, and yes, there's a couple of emails or a meeting request. They're not going to see that as big in the larger scheme of things at this time. So it's important to keep at it, to keep showing people that no, you can't invest in Saudi. Every time, I mean, there's so many conferences there recently as well. There's so many trade conferences. There's so many big names going out to Saudi and looking at it as a legitimate place to expand and to do business. And I think every time that happens, we need to be writing to these trade groups. We need to be talking. We need to be advising them of the risk. And I think that the US State Department needs to be very, very clear about the risk of doing business in Saudi, that it can result in asset seizures, it can result in travel bans, it can result in arbitrary detention and unfair trials just to seize that business. And I think when entrepreneurs and investors realize that they can become a criminal target, or that they can be locked up, that they can lose everything, they can be extorted, they can be told that unless you pay $300 million, we're not going to let you go. I mean, once you're in that system and once you're under that jurisdiction, you're completely helpless. You can be extorted. And I think, this is what we're seeing in other countries in the Middle East as well, is this, when there's awareness from authorities that there's someone who's very wealthy, or they have a crypto wallet, or they become targets, whether it's by the government, certain members of the ruling elite, or just influential people who have access to manipulate the system or know how to do it. And people who have lived in Saudi their whole lives, even if they're not Saudi citizens, or if they're familiar with the system, they know how to abuse it. And they know how to put people like you in this situation. And they do feel that complete immunity at this point if they have friends, if they have alliances within the justice system. And I think that's one of the biggest risks as well.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, exactly. And my father is, it might seem like a small case, but these type of cases can't be taken lightly. That's what it feels like. It's been.
Yeah.
It seems like a small thing, but it's really important, really, in the big context. Like labor rights, we're having a World Cup here. There's going to be one there, but labor rights need to be taken seriously. People like my father, they can't be treated this way. He spent 40 years working day and night, 365 years, for a company which is owned by the PIF, and this type of treatment is unacceptable.
I just wanted to highlight you something. We used to send by emails all this to Saudi ambassador in United Kingdom, Prince Khalid bin Bandar bin Sultan also. Also, he received by emails, but no response.
We also sent them to the PIF as well.
PIF also.
No
response.
Never received any response.
My humble request to you, through you, I mean, you're on the podcast, is Saudi's authorities, they're supposed to take a note and to inform his Crown Prince, because this is damaging his vision of 2030, country's name, his name, because of people who work honestly, who generated millions of dollars profit to the company, and to have this life which I'm going through, me and my whole family, which is very bad for them to delay justice for me.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they are not contacted me till today. Because every single day is passing, people will read, will watch, and they will feel that this country it's not the way they projected.
It's important for people to be aware, isn't it? And I think your case really raises awareness of that. Not only is it terribly bad for Saudi's reputation if it's hosting these events and wanting to bring in staff and foreign workers, foreign residents. It is terrible. They do need to start treating them well. And but it's also a warning, isn't it? It acts as a warning to people who are being offered these jobs and possibly don't know what's in store for them at a whim. That anything can happen. Absolutely.
Even 40 years in,
Even if you work honestly, professionally, whatever you generate, millions of dollars profit to them, for them at the end,
meaningless.
It's meaningless for them if they want it. They can do whatever they want.
After 40 years.
But the problem here, with this new vision, it's supposed to be stopped, and I'm supposed to get justice as early as possible. I have no idea why these people are delaying justice for me.
Just like the Indian, prime minister, they took action right away. I mean, but now over here we're sending all these public for years. on end. We keep sending publications, and zero response. This is how we should, we should get a, response
Well, I
expected.
mean, hopefully this will assist with that. And I'd like to look at all of your documentation after this podcast and see how we might be able to assist. I think it's just really
Yeah,
important.
please have a look at all those. It'll give you
Yeah,
a bigger picture, the entire.
We already sent it to you.
absolutely.
You have already, but if you need any extra, please let us know.
Okay, if we already have it, I'll
Yeah, it's already been sent it to
Yeah,
you.
it covers every,
Yeah.
4 years. We've
excellent.
been publishing, sending,
Mm,
but no response. On that.
mm.
But we'll keep continuing until my father gets. This is a human
Absolutely.
right, I believe,
Yeah,
till we get justice.
absolutely. I think it's important.
No, we will definitely keep fighting for justice. But my humble request to you, please, one more again, I'm requesting you, whatever the way, I want you to please relay this message to Saudi authorities. Thus, I need justice.
Certainly. And you do deserve
Because
it.
These type of things can't be taken lightly. I understand that they
It's
feel
it's
bad.
40 years of your life, absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly.
and now he has to live like this, and our family is suffering. My mother is, has those complications from that delayed surgery.
Yeah.
This whole thing it's a whole cloud around our life. And this with this new vision and all these new things that I want to be brought up there. This type of things have to be taken seriously, and
Yeah.
I believe corrected.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to do.
in order to turn over the new leaf, they should be dealing
Yeah,
with
the new
these
leaf
kinds of
that they
issues.
wanna
Exactly.
show.
Yeah.
This type of my father, these type of things have to be taken
Well,
seriously.
treat him with the dignity he deserves, especially after
Exactly.
the
It's a human
commitment.
right.
Yeah, after the commitment of
And
40 years,
40
absolutely,
years.
they should deal with him with
And,
the dignity he
he
deserves.
kept his head down the whole time and worked there in Saudi. As a Kafala, we can't. It's a strict type of lifestyle. So he's 40 years later is a long time, as you know.
It's his lifetime. It really is.
Yeah.
It's
So he's just a simple, never got a parking ticket even. Very humble guy. Just worked all around and worked for a PIF company. But I've been working with him. My father. His health isn't. It's not the same anymore. He's aged a lot in the past 6 years. It feels like 12 years. And our mother is not feeling well, and we just want justice. That's all. I mean, it's very
fair,
unacceptable behavior. So we'll keep on continuing, but we appreciate you posting the.
Please. Well, we'll absolutely will assist and we'll do what we can. But thank you so much for joining today and for sharing your story. And I'll let you know when this is out and support all of your endeavors going forward.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
lovely
you
to meet you both.
Thank you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you, and good luck with your search for justice.
Yes, thank you very much for that. But when you think this will be relayed?
I will let you know after this. I'll see how long it takes. But thank you so much for joining. It'll be very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for taking the time for.
One more thing I wanted to request you. Please consider my request. If there is any other podcast, any other human rights organization, we are dealing with so many in the UK and in Europe.
Certainly. And if you have a website or any way to contact you, we'll put that up at the end. So for anyone watching, please get in touch and support this cause. I think it will help not only save your family and give justice for your family, but it will prevent the future abuse of other families in this situation.
World Cup's coming up there. The next one, I guess.
Absolutely.
Next one. So there's a lot of things going on that.
And there's a lot of promotion of Saudi Arabia as well by celebrities, by influencers, and it's important to get both sides of that story out there.
Sides to everything. And this is the other side. So we're only seeing one side, but people like my father is the other side.
Exactly.
This has to be seen by the whole world, and action needs to be taken, I believe.
If you need any extra information, anything if you need, please let us know.
I'll let you know.
We are always available. Once again, million thanks for your support, for highlighting my case to the world.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you for sharing your
I'm
story.
sure.
For every person like you who comes forward and tells your story, I'm sure there's thousands of others who have experienced very similar to what you have who haven't come forward. So you're a representative for them, and I'm sure they're very appreciative for you taking this case forward, for you explaining these human rights situations. So thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you both, and we'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Gulf Injustice podcast.